Hello everybody and welcome back to World of Warships Legends, and today we're seeing if the Prinz Eugen is worth it or not. So Prinz Eugen I got out of a crate. It was a lucky pull. It was like during the space crates or something. It was like the 3.0, 4.0 crates, and I pulled the Eugen out of it and I was like, holy crap. It was insane. So I've been wanting to do a Prinz Eugen video for quite some time, so here we are. So the commander I am running is Karl von Muller with the maximum cruiser speed. I'm running beyond range for main battery range, igniter, chances of cruiser HE shells causing fire, punch through, cruiser's main gun armor piercing shell damage is increased by 8%, penetration multipliers increased by 5%, and then we have fixated, cruiser's main battery shell grouping is increased to 3%, and dispersion is decreased by 3%. And obviously we're running fully packed, so he's obviously not a maxed out commander. This is the best I could get him up to right now, but I will make sure I get him maxed out. But you know, he's been working for me on this boat. It's been good. I'm running Nicole von Essen just for ricochet angles, so I could get better angles when I shoot. It's not as good as, like, you know, AL Balti on a Eugen, but it's just a preference I run with. We all have different gameplay styles, and it's been working for me. So and then we have Gunther Lutjens. I try my best to pronounce these names, so please don't blame me for it. And I'm running him for extra damage with the armor piercing shells. That way we can maximize our damage with the AP shells. Alright, Consumables, we have infinite damage control party, sonar. So you do get a reload booster on this thing, and sonar, I just prefer it so I can pick up destroyers and boats, and it picks up ships at 5.6 kilometers. Again, it's just a preference. I've tried the main battery reload booster and I just prefer the sonar. The main battery booster, again, it's just preference. It's whatever you like, what fits your game style, but sonar, it fits better for me so I could get intelligence and know where the enemy is. Catapult fighter, we get a fighter plane, so it's nice against carriers, and we get 3 heals, so 270 health points are recovered each second, and the consumable duration lasts for like 28 seconds, so we're recovering 7,560 health every time we use the three repair parties. And then the boosters, I'm just running global XP, rare credit boosters, and rare battle boosters. I only run the double one just for better movement speed and cooldown for consumables. You could run the triple for extra main battery range, but you know, again, it's just a preference. And we got the Type 9 camo that came along with it. Absolutely amazing. And the Duck of War flag, of course, because we represent that we've been here since the Duck of War, or pretty much beginning of the game. Survivability is 57 on rating. Hit points is 45,000 on the dot. Armor is 13 to 160 millimeters thick. Torpedo damage reduction is 10%. Artillery is a 73 overall rating. Main battery is 203 millimeters. Fire range is 18.3 kilometers. Reload time 13 seconds. 180-degree turn time is 22.5 seconds. HE shell damage maximum is 2,500. Fire setting chance is 16%. AP shell damage max is 6,602. Of course, when you're getting citadels, you'll hit a lot harder. Secondary armament, 105 millimeters. Firing range 5.2 kilometers. Reload time 3.3 seconds. Max HE shell damage is 1,200. And fire setting chance is 8%. You get torpedoes on this boat. They reach out to 8 kilometers. I don't really pump anything into torpedoes with this commander build, all in the main guns. And the reload time is 68 seconds, so it's pretty quick. Just a minute and 8 seconds after you use your torpedoes, so it's not bad. A defense is 70. You guys can pause the video and look over the stats on that, but usually I don't really go into it. So A defense, 70 overall rating, it's not bad. Maneuverability is 65, maximum speed is 34 knots, concealment is 59. Statistics, I played 6 battles in this thing, and I plan on playing this thing a lot more, because when I started playing, I played like 4 battles in a row with this thing, and I started loving it, so that will definitely go up in future videos, and you guys will see that. Win rate on ship is 67%, but we've only played 6 battles. Now let's have a look at the armor scheme. So this is kind of an icebreaker. It's not really an icebreaker. You get that little 40mm armor right there on the front of the ship. It's nice because you can ricochet shells of 16-inch, and only 16-inch can overmatch you. And try and get them to hit that orange part. There's like that little part on the front of it. It's just like its own self. Like that's some of the parts on the ship is just like its own self. You'll see, but 16-inch overmatches us. So like Iowa, I believe Vanguard does, and Amagi. So you kind of have to do your research with the 16-inch. I really need to look at Vanguard. I keep getting confused. I'm pretty sure it does have 16s. I'll look after this. But yeah, 16-inch, just be wary about it. And try and get them to hit that 40mm in the front, because they will penetrate through that little sliver right there for a second, but then hit that 40. So they'll get a little pin. But if they hit that 40, then you're fine. The rear, it's got that 70 on the rear, but they can overmatch through the rear and get your Citadel. So just be careful with that. Get rid of torpedo damage, not torpedo damage reduction, the freaking torpedo protection. You do have an 80 belt on the lower part of the ship. You have a 27 on the upper part of the ship, so try and get ships to ricochet off that 80 if it's like 16-inch, if they're aiming low, because they will not overmatch. Maybe a couple shells might get through. Again, you're not going to get the... Just be wary. Like, treat it like if you were playing, what is it, Balti. It's full 27mm, but again, it's its own play style. But that's just how I would treat it. Like, I would try and ricochet stuff off that 80mm belt right there. Like, it just depends, really. But that's kind of how I would treat it. That's just me. You guys have your own play style. Citadel is slightly raised above the waterline. Let's have a look. Yeah, she's slightly raised above the waterline. But, you got that belt protecting you. But just don't go broadside. Obviously, you're going to pay for that Citadel. Alright, she is tough. Above average base HP rating. Barrage equipped or can be equipped with the main battery reload booster. Again, it's preference for me. I like the sonar. Superior AP damage above average on AP shell damage. Prinz Eugen, one of a series of Admiral Hipper class ships and one of the most powerful heavy cruisers of the 1930s. During World War II, she was equipped with powerful anti-aircraft guns and an enhanced fire control system. Entered service in 1940. Ships in a Series 5. So, that's Prinz Eugen for you in the freaking, what is it, review. Oh, one more thing. I forgot to look at show you guys my upgrades. I always forget this every video. So, I run aiming systems mod 1, better for main battery dispersion, launcher, torpedo launcher, traverse speed, secondary battery firing range, and dispersion. That's just a preference. Propulsion mod 2, it's a preference. You can run steering gears, but I haven't had problems with steering gears. Propulsion mod is just preference. Concealment mod, you could go steering gears mod 3, but I run concealment. I like to go dark. And then gun control system mod 2. Again, it's a preference. I like having better accuracy and more range on my ships. But yeah, that's Prinz Eugen for you. And she is an absolute beauty of a ship. I love the camo on this thing. This thing plays really well. And yeah, let's get into the battle. Alrighty, so battle starts, and I was a little late to this one, but I spawned in at 1 second. Also, I've been kind of getting a little sick, so just gotta keep in mind that if I do cough, it's because I am getting a little sick here, little bug going around. But we're in the match, and I noticed that there's a Georgia and a Soyuz, and I'm like, okay, Georgia and Soyuz overmatched. Georgia with its 18s and Soyuz with the 16s. I'm playing with my friend Support. He's in the Riga. He's been really enjoying the Riga. The armor on it, it's so good. Like, you're able to angle yourself at ships that you think would overmatch you. And you can overmatch, the 16-inch can't overmatch, like, certain parts of the armor on the Riga. I haven't had much time to look at the armor. But there's a Lexington in this match as well as carriers. So there's carriers in the match. And that's where the catapult fire will come in handy. But I'm parking up on this island right here, getting ready. Support's already getting fired at. I'm like, okay, the enemy team's already like coming at us. And that's when I noticed B cap is starting to start getting to get captured. So I was like, okay, there's a DD in this cap, so we gotta be like aware. So then support comes up with a plan here in a second for how we're gonna counter this DD and the enemy team. I got HE loaded up. HE not the best in Eugen, but I got to load it up for this DD coming up. And I'm just keeping myself angled here. Want to be careful of incoming torps at all. Riga has got radar, and that surprised me when support said it had radar. I was like, holy freak, like that's crazy. And then I got my sonar. I'm going to go ahead and pop my sonar here in a second because this was the plan. You didn't want to use his radar until I pop my sonar. So I'm going to use my sonar here in a second. We can test B cap. And we're going to try and win this cap. That way we could get an advantage on our side. That's when I get detected by sonar. So I pop my sonar. I pick up Lucian behind the island. But pretty sure Lucian's got that sonar as well. So we're detected by Lucian, and we picked up Lucian. And I have my sonar for like a solid 2 minutes. And that's when I pick up Soys, and I'm like, okay. And then there's Rune, and I'm like, oh, dang, I could have gotten Rune there. He malfunctions my torps. And, that's what you expect from German torps. Like, they're gonna break easy. That's what I've been told. But I'm trying to get our team to focus on this Lucian. We get the DD out of here fast, the easier it will be on us. And that Rune is broadside, and he's tempting me so much. I'm like, oh, I want to take that shot out at him. But I'm gonna try and kill the Lucian because this is more important. And I thought I could lob that, but I did not at all. And Lucian's going to pull back into the island. The Rune is going to get away with that broadside shot, but don't worry, we're going to make him pay later. But I was like, oh, I could have gotten that Rune. But again, you have to have that mentality of like, okay, we got to win the game. Like, this is what we got to come into. It's not about damage. It's about, winning the game. It'll be nice getting some high damage, but, we want to win the game for our team. Get this dub. We want to get this game. So, you kind of have to have the mindset of getting into the game and, like, playing as your team. Like, play as a team. So, support's taking fire from the enemy team. And I'm pushing up a little here. I'm a little wary about, like, my decision to push here. We get rid of that Lucian. I will definitely push on that Soys and drop torps on him because I definitely got the torps to do so. So, we're just trying to get rid of Lucian right now. And I'm going to try and poke around this corner to take this shot on Lucian. And I take the shot, and I'm not going to get it. The island glitch. Wargaming can't get rid of that. That's so I heard. And then Lucian dumps his torps. I'm like, all right, this is a good time to push. So I start pushing. Support's trying to get rid of the DD. And I dump my torps, and support dies. And our DD kills their DD. I'm like, all right, sweet. So I start pushing. Notice how I switched to armor piercing. This will come important quick. So I get the torps off on Soys. And we're up to like 41,000 damage. And that's when I got the armor-piercing rounds loaded up, and I'm shooting at the front of the ship to get those extra pins, and we kill Soys. So, in a drive-by like that, and you dump your torps, you want to have your armor-piercing loaded up and ready to go if you're getting, getting a broadside look like that. Rune, broadside, take a shot out of him, get some good pins, 4 pins. I was a little disappointed. I was like, I could have gotten a Citadel out of that. So... And then that's when I noticed I was going a little too fast, and I start like pulling it in reverse. I'm in a smoke screen. I'm like, okay, I got an advantage. I can use the smoke screen and stay dark and take this cap. Rune gets detected again, and I'm like, okay, I can kill this guy. We're at 55,000 damage, and we got more work to do here. We take B cap. We have C and D cap as well. Enemy team has A cap. So like we've got this like secure 7K. Right down the middle of the Rune, 4 pins on him, 63,000 damage. You gotta take another shot at him. The armor piercing on this thing slaps as well. Like, it's so good. Get a good couple rounds on there. I aimed a little high there. But I'm looking on the left side of the map. Since we got our side secured, left side of the map is taking care of the rest of the boats over there. I switch over to HE, and then I switch back to armor piercing because I'm trying to bait him to get into a broadside position here. That way I can be able to remove him faster, and that I can be able to go help my team out on the left side with whatever, ships that are left. So I take a shot out again on Rune, and I thought we got the Citadel there. We didn't. 2 ricochets and 1 pin on him. We're at 69,000 damage. I'm keeping myself angled at him. And, like, in these predicaments, you want to keep yourself, like, well angled. Also, be aware of your surroundings. He's got HE loaded. I'm just shooting armor piercing because I know my armor piercing does a lot to him. Like, the armor piercing slaps, and you know, you just kind of want to keep it that way. So I'm just being wary, and I take a shot at Rune, and I'm just being careful watching the ships on my left because they can get me or get some good damage. That's when the carrier drops his bombs. I'm like, okay, you gotta be careful of the carrier. And also, that's a good reminder that I need to send up my catapult fire, which I'll do here in a second. My main gun gets malfunctioned there for a second. We get some good pins on Rune. We're at 80,000 damage. And he takes shots at me with the HE. And he malfunctions my torpedoes. I'm pretty sure my torpedo tubes get destroyed right there. Or will be here in a second. Unless they're already destroyed. Yeah, he destroys a couple of my torp tubes here in a sec or later. But he malfunctions my torp tubes again. But take a shot out on Rune. He's a little over-angled here. And I'm going to get a good... I thought I got good chunks on him. Like, we're getting little pins on him. 2 pins on him. Like, we're getting little damage, but we're making the best of it. Taking more shots out at Rune. Our DD smokes up. He's helping me get rid of this Rune. And then I noticed that Georgia is coming around this island over here. I'm like, okay, I need to be careful of that. We are up on points, and we just finished off another one of their ships. And I'm going to be able to finish off Rune here, which I think I got robbed. Yep, I was about to say I got robbed here on this shot. He loaded up armor piercing, but thankfully he whiffed his shot. We're at 93,000 damage, and it was a pretty solid game. We got the caps here. We're up on points, and I'm like, okay, all we got to do really is just deal with the carrier. Like, we were able to clean wipe these guys. We lost support in another boat, but this was a solid game. And I'm going to try and wedge myself in between these torpedoes, but I'm going to eat one here for 4K, which it's all right. We already won this game because we got all three, not all the caps. We got three. We got B, C, and D cap, and that's when they finished the carrier. Like, it was well played by us and our team. So, easy win right there, 93,000 damage. We end up second on the board with 2,757 base XP. So, pretty solid game. Let me know what you guys think about Prinz Eugen. And I do enjoy the ship, and I need to play more of it. But I do think it is worth it. Definitely not worth the currency. Again, I always say this about World of Warships. Like, the currencies are way too expensive. But I hope you guys enjoyed this video, and I'll see you guys on the seas.